This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.
So you are Bala Mahesh.
Yes, sir.
Good. Congratulations for cracking mains.
Thank you, sir.
Is this the first time?
This is actually my second attempt, sir.
Second attempt.
My first attempt for qualifying for interviews. So this is my first interview, sir. And overall, it is my second attempt.
Second attempt. You cracked prelims last year,
Yes, sir.
so attempted mains also.
Yes.
But couldn't get into the finalist.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, 20 marks less for that.
What is your options?
Anthropology, sir.
Anthropology. You are a native of Nedavolu.
Sir, I was born in Neduvolu, but my permanent residence is Jagannathpuram, which is a village near Tadipalli.
So born in Nedavolu. How far is your Nedavolu from this Jagannathapuram?
20 kilometers.
20. Just nearby.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, you did your graduation from BV
Raju College.
BV Raju College. From which town?
Bhimavaram, sir.
Bhimavaram. Yeah, it is not mentioned here. Bhimavaram. So you did your BSc. Why didn't you go for BTech or something after your intermediate? Nowadays BTech is the most sought after degree.
Sir, I was decided in 10th class after met my the then district collector, Siddharth Jain sir. I have to prepare for UPSC CSC. And moreover, I need to help my father in his agricultural farming also. So these two factors led me to take BSc instead of BTech, sir. Moreover, I have interest in chemistry, sir. So because of that stream, I have taken BSc, sir.
So you passed out your graduation in which year?
2019, sir.
19.
Yes, sir.
So didn't attempt to join somewhere in MSc chemistry, somewhere for to do masters?
No, sir. I haven't went to MSc, but if time allows in future, I will do MSc, sir.
Then you have chosen anthropology as optionals, but your favorite subject is chemistry. Why didn't you attempt from chemistry?
Sir, when I go through the syllabus of UPSC, I found that my graduation syllabus is not up to the match to the UPSC syllabus. And moreover, when I go through another subject syllabus, I found that many topics in anthropology, such as study of caste, study of villages, and social studies. So these are related to and even it is also part of my life, sir, in village. So it attracted me, and the journey is good, sir.
It is more, sociology is more relevant than anthropology for your life. If I give you this statement,
Yes, sir.
do you justify that still anthropology is closer to you than sociology?
Sir, sociology is more about to study of only present context and more of urbanized and village studies, sir. But in anthropology, it is more holistic than sociology, sir. Such as we can study tribals also, sir. In my village, I have observed tribals life also. Moreover, anthropology involves fieldwork, sir.
Who says there is no fieldwork in sociology?
Yes, sir.
And there is no tribes in sociology?
Yes, sir. But the more concentration of sociology is contemporary relevance, up to my knowledge, sir.
I don't think so.
Sir, when we used to compare anthropology and sociology as part of anthropology syllabus, we used to learn that sociology, in anthropology, study of tribals is the more part of the anthropology, and also fieldwork is more in anthropology. So,
Somehow, not satisfied with that answer, because you don't have some portions like physical anthropology aspects of it,
yes,
or some archaeological aspects of anthropology
yes, sir.
in sociology. But for that, you have the rural studies, urban studies, industrial studies, and field work. Sociology is also a field work based.
Sir, one more reason I can tell that I got a guidance from seniors, sir. So if you have a guidance and if you have guidance from a senior, so in genuine and generally we will more inclined to that subject.
This is the honest answer, I believe.
Sir, I can say that this is also the one thing but it is not the major reason, sir. I can assure
But
you.
do you still feel that sociology and anthropology, the reasons you gave,
Yes, sir.
are completely true? True means I am not saying that you are just hiding something, but your understanding lacks something. The difference you are thinking about
Sir,
sociology and anthropology.
Sir, maybe you are right because you know more about anthropology and sociology. But as I never studied sociology, so I have limited knowledge regarding sociology. So from my point of view, and I know the perspectives of anthropology.
The same case with anthropology. You haven't studied anthropology,
Yes, sir.
but still you prefer.
Sir, in sociology, genuine when I observed in anthropology, uh, regarding syllabus and whatever the questions, previous questions, it is more of it includes both contemporary and past relevance. Sir.
Which ones? Anthropology.
Anthropology.
Sociology?
Sociology, I never went through completely, but when I see the syllabus, it is more of contemporary nature.
Go through this.
Yes.
You just focus on the this question which I have
Yes.
asked you. The difference. What exactly is the difference between sociology and anthropology?
Yes.
Okay.
I go through.
That will help you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So you said anthropology. So how confident you are in anthropology?
Sir, my confidence is depends upon the my understanding towards the anthropology and how I am able to apply the theoretical knowledge to in practical sense, sir, and how my knowledge useful in administration also, sir. So I am confident that I can apply my knowledge in administration also, sir.
What exactly was helpful by learning anthropology? Anything you have applied for your to your village? Because you said it is close to my village and my village life.
Sir, it is, sir, to say precisely, it has changed my some of my personal behavior, sir. Sir, since I am from village, even because it has a very much of caste dynamics, sir, particularly in Andhra Pradesh. So I was inclined to more favorable to my caste, and I used to criticize other castes in earlier, sir. But after studying anthropology, it is all relative nature, and it created some of sense of equality regarding caste in me, sir. So that is the change I observed in me.
Your village. Basically, if you see your village, what exactly, how do you categorize your village? Is it a urban oriented or semi-urban or completely rural? What nature is it?
Sir, it is more of rural in nature because majority of the occupation of the people is agriculture, and there is also more prevalence of joint families also there, sir. And also there is a many traits of village also present in my area, sir. And moreover, there is a considerable number of tribal population is also there, sir. So these character and also as we seen, caste dynamics plays major role in villages economy and politics, sir. These traits are also there in my village, sir.
What are the tribes in your village?
Sir, it is another tribe is there, sir. There are plain area tables and they are present in my village, sir.
Are they forest dwelling tribes?
Yanadi, sir. Sir, up to my knowledge, they are plain area tribes. They are not dwelling in.
What do you call them exactly? Any other term for those tribes, such tribes?
Yanadi tribes. Sorry, sir, I am not able to recall.
Have you heard about semi-nomadic?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can you categorize Yanadis as semi-nomadic tribes?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
sir.
is a correct word, apt word for this Yanadi tribes.
Yes, sir. Thank you for information.
They are semi-nomadic.
Yes, sir.
They are not forest dwelling.
Yes,
What exactly is their occupation?
sir. Their occupation at present is regarding first agricultural labor and also fishing is also their occupation, sir. Observed. So these they used to catch rats in farmers and they assist the farmers in that stuff. So these three occupations I observed in tribes, Yanadi people in my village.
Catching rats.
Yes, sir.
Are there any tribes? Have you ever come across such different communities in the other states?
Sorry, sir, I am unable to
Do
answer.
you watch films?
Yes, sir.
Have you watched Jai Bhim?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the tribe? A semi-tribal population, rural population. They are also having those rat catching population.
Irula tribe, sir. Maybe.
Yes. Rural of
Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. In Bihar also there is a tribe, complete Paswans. They are completely rat catching people.
Yes.
That is the main occupation. Okay. So whenever you come across a fact which is in your place,
Yes, sir.
just have some knowledge about the areas in other parts of the country. That will give you a broad understanding.
Yes, sir.
Can you name some of the anthropologists who worked on tribes in India?
Sir, there are many anthropologists such as S.C. Roy, S.C. Dubey, and L.P. Vidyarthi, D.N. Mazumdar, D.N. S.M. Bose, and also in from Andhra Pradesh, not a famous Vijay Korra, a person is there who wrote thesis on criminal tribes. I read his thesis. I found he completely understand the problems of criminal tribes and also he given good solutions also. Sir.
Can we say or can we categorize them as criminal tribes? There is another term.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Denotified tribes.
Denotified.
His thesis name is criminal tribes and their problems.
Why they are known as criminal tribes? Who named them as criminal tribes? Can you tell something about it?
Sir, in British administrators named them as criminal tribes, sir, because they believe that they have a systemic commission of habitual illegal activities. So that is why they named all the communities, those communities as criminal tribes, sir.
What are the tribes?
So, for example, Naik, Porja, some of the Konreddis also there.
Yanadis also.
Sir, I don't know.
Some areas.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir.
See, basically, semi-nomadic tribes
Yes, sir.
are having this tag of being criminal tribes in different areas.
Okay, sir.
Do you watch films? More frequently.
Not more frequently, sir. On general,
Do you watch films, Hindi films?
very less, sir.
Have you heard about Thugs of Hindustan?
Yes, sir. I have heard of it, but I haven't watched.
Can you link something with related this notified tribes, denotified tribes or criminal tribes, British understanding of the people who are
Sir,
criminals?
because I haven't watched, so I cannot speculate and without knowing the content, sir.
But that is a film based on a novel.
Okay, sir.
That is based on a novel. Anyway, in history,
Yes, sir.
let's come back to something about history.
Okay, sir.
There was a legislation since you talked about this criminal tribes.
Yes.
Was there any legislation pre 1857 by East India Company related to this suppression of these such activities like thugs and these things?
Before 1857. Sir, I don't know any particular act.
There is an act, suppression of thugs and pindaris. Please check it. That is one of the things. Since you talked about these things,
Yes.
these are all allied questions
Yes.
when you talk about these criminal tribes.
Yes. I'll go through it, sir.
So, coming back from anthropology, you said paddy cultivation, paddy farming is the activities which interests you, like playing cricket and paddy farming.
Yes, sir.
Paddy farming. Why paddy farming?
As an hobby, sir.
Is it a hobby or an occupation?
Sir.
Because you have mentioned under extracurricular activity.
Sir, paddy farming is occupation to my father, sir. But because of labor scarcity and high cost, even my father is a tenant farmer, so he cannot bear it. So since from my childhood, I used to assist him. But when I was going through these studies, my father never insisted me to do cultivation. So myself only and based on my willing, I used to assist him. So so it is more of a hobby to me rather than an occupation, sir. I believe.
Can you still, it's a hobby
Yes, sir. It is still my hobby.
because,
Because sir, when I came to see civil services preparation, I'm not more often go to paddy fields, sir. When I find some leisure time after writing prelims or mains, I used to go and for up to, for around 10 to 20 days, I used to assist my father and mother, sir.
yeah, now my question, I think. See, one thing is hobby or extracurricular activity,
Yes, sir.
which may not have some economic value to your life.
Yes, sir.
It is the way of subsistence to your father, and you are assisting him. Then why? How can you say that it's an extracurricular activity?
Sir, I believe that a hobby is more related to your willingness to do, even you don't have an obligation. So based on that point, I wrote it. I mentioned it as a hobby, sir.
Hmm.
So that's what I believe.
Still, just ponder over these things because this is an economic activity.
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe there are some artists also there, sir. So first they develop art as a hobby, but after that it turns to an occupation. So there is a hobby cannot be an economic activity. So I think so there is no margin between them. Hobby can be also economic activity.
Hmm.
Similarly, in my case also, sir, it is a more of an hobby nature.
So why only paddy? Why what are the conditions? Why that area, your area, is completely into paddy?
Sir, there are many factors, sir. First of all, huge availability of water, sir.
Hmm.
And secondly, my paddy fields is near Errakalva, so it is used to war flood every year, particularly in Kharif season. So because of that, new soil comes and fertility increases. So there is no case of decreasing soil fertility. And thirdly, earlier we used to do sugar cultivation, sir. But because of the shutdown of sugar factories in Chagallu and Tanuku, we are unable to find sugar factories near to us, sir. So moreover, due to high MSP to the paddy and easily transport available, we adopted paddy, sir.
You are an administrator of your district.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, you want to promote sugarcane cultivation
Yes, sir.
in the place of paddy, or at least replacing a part of it. What will be, what would be your steps? Means, what are the suggestions or what are the things you do? What are the other activities along with the sugarcane cultivation? What products you can make and how you are going to encourage sugarcane cultivation in your area?
Sir, first I'll check on the past why earlier which is a place of sugarcane area now turns into completely to paddy. So I'll dwell on the past mistakes and I will analyze and make two solutions, sir. Sir, first I have to convince the farmers. Uh, First, I will convince them through the existence of mechanism of remunerative price which is giving for sugarcane industry, sir. So first, I will convince them there is also MSP like mechanism in sugar industry also, sir. And secondly, first I'll encourage them in a cooperative sector in Andhra Pradesh sugar industry. In Maharashtra, the success behind sugar industries are more in cooperative sector, sir. In Andhra Pradesh, it is not the case. So I'll encourage cooperative sector. And thirdly, the byproducts of sugar industries, first we can make ethanol from B grade molasses, sir. Now recently government allowing that. And thirdly, we can use bagasse, sir. For even we can use bagasse as a biomanure and
Yeah.
biofuels. And thirdly, we can use if sugar industries are not feasible, we can also encourage them to go for jaggery making, sir.
Why don't you take this as first one?
Which one, sir?
Jaggery making.
Sir, um, first we have to alleviate the fears of people, sir,
Hmm.
farmers. So my first step is I have to create in belief in them, sir.
That's true.
Yes, sir.
But there are no sugar factories. All are closed.
Sir,
And sending sugarcane to some distant area factories is cost effective. They are not very comfortable.
yes, sir.
So why don't you have the jaggery industry as the local industry, village-based industry?
Sir, earlier they also tried, sir, but the jaggery cannot take all the produce, sir.
Hmm.
Their capacity is very less.
Hmm.
And moreover, also the sugar industries are shut down, but the machinery still remain intact, sir. So by investing some capital, we can regenerate them, sir.
Means you want to restart the closed units
Yes, sir.
as an administrator.
Sir, I based on, sir, it is a limitation, sir. It is the government policy, so political representatives should take the decision. First, I need to also convince them and also to formulate a plan to convince them, sir.
When you talk about political representative first as the collector of the district, for example, why don't you consult the state infrastructure development corporation or the state we have this industrial development corporation, have the plans with them. Why you think about political decision first?
Sir, they are the representatives of people, sir. In democracy, bureaucrats cannot do on their own, sir. There should be a coordination between the both political representatives and bureaucrats. Then only in any democratic country, any plan can be successful.
Do you call political representatives first before formulating some policies in your district or any collector?
Sir?
Any policies. For example, you are trying to chalk out some policy,
Yes, sir.
chalk out some initiative, new initiative in the district.
Yes, sir.
Do you consult the political representatives first, or you just start it and then while implementation you will be interacting with them?
Sir, first I'll consult with them, sir.
No, you are not going to do that. If you start doing that, you can't move a step ahead. What is the criteria for an administrator to chalk out the policies? What you should do? For example, you know the problems of the people in your
Yes,
district
sir.
or a place.
Yes, sir.
First, what you will do? What you will do? Do you consult the political people or representatives, or you have your own rules and regulations or the previous experiences of the area before you to chalk out programs?
Sir, personally, I observed what is that, sir. Even to convince people, political representatives should be there, sir, because they people general feels that they are their they are their representatives. So even to influence the public opinion, we need the help of political representatives, sir.
Please think about this answer. Okay.
Yes.
You are thinking that your answer is pragmatic, means practical, but it's not the correct one. You are not going to move a step ahead. In your district, if you want to start a plan, while with the consultation of the political representatives in the beginning itself, no policy will be done.
Sir.
In your manual, during training, or in any process, it is not the method, it is not the step for step. As the executive, you have already some guidelines or some experiences before you. If factory is closed, you want to make it as a cooperative.
Yes.
Initiate the process. In that process, you consult public representatives. We don't have any problem.
Yes.
But your starting shop should not be talking to them. And don't think that people cannot be led without their representation.
Yes.
There are many successful bureaucrats in this country. They never consulted the people's representative and they did not go with them.
Sir, since I am not entered into administration, I don't know the standard operating procedures. So my answer is based on my belief and my knowledge.
Pragmatic.
My knowledge, sir.
But still, okay, just what I have said is correct.
Yes.
Okay, if you start from there,
Yes, sir.
then again you will be in soup. There are three people. They want the industry in their own constituency. What are you going to do? The project will be stalled. Okay.
Yes.
What is the criteria for an administrator in deciding a thing?
Sir, whether it is in accordance with the law or not.
That's it. constitution,
Gosh.
law, and already set practices.
Yes.
This is the first thing. Then all the other things come later.
Letters.
And that should be decided, these things in tune with the people's interest,
Yes.
public interest.
Yes.
This is the only thing. The other things which we have talked about will come in a later stage. Okay?
Thank you, sir, for enlightening me.
Yeah, because you will be dragged into the slippery ground if you start talking about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So coming back to your optional, your hobby, other playing cricket.
Yes, sir.
Do you play cricket on a higher level tournaments or local level, college level?
No, sir. I was played up to school level.
Okay.
After that, I am unable to give time for it. But I used to play in holidays, sir.
Hmm.
But I haven't participated in any official tournaments.
Do you watch cricket regularly?
Yes, sir. But when I have free time, I used to watch regularly.
Now cricket is a big game, big money spinning game. What is your take on this?
Sir, yes, sir. Commercialization is a big element entered into cricket, but it also created some of the advantages also, sir. It created an infrastructure. It also attracting people, and it also giving employment to in terms of sports managing staff. All those things are, sir. Even because of this commercialization, we are attracting people from border areas, sir. For example, Umran Malik or and many people, Ash Badani, who are playing from Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, etc. Sir. So it is a more of it is also bringing social change also, sir.
If I say because of cricket, all the other games are suffering. They are not getting the focus as they require today.
Yes, sir. I am agree with that question, sir, because there is a biased publicity also there, sir. Other sports are not getting telecasting sponsors, so the problem is there, and we have to search for the solutions.
Do you watch IPL and all these things?
Sir, in my school level and college level, I used to watch very regularly, but unfortunately, my exams time and IPL coincides, so I'm not able to give time for that, sir. But I follow somewhat.
You watch films,
Yes, sir.
Telugu or every language?
Sir, mostly Telugu and little English, sir. Hollywood movies.
What are the Hollywood movies you have watched?
Sir, I am a fan of Christopher Nolan, sir. Scientific fiction films such as Prestige, Inception, Interstellar, like, sir.
Why? Why?
Sir, he makes us amused because even with the simple concepts and simple physical concepts we already know, but he takes those concepts to the another level. So when we watch that film, it gives a wow moment to us. So the thinking process of the director and that execution, that amuses me, sir.
So you like science fiction?
Mostly, sir, but I also like periodic movies, particularly in Telugu, sir.
What are the periodic movies you watch?
Many, sir. Lavakusa, Danvira Shorkana, my favorite movie, of course, and also Nartana Sela.
Are you a fan of NTR?
He's acting, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. I'm a fan of India.
If you are talking about an actor, if you are a fan, you are a fan of his acting,
Yes, sir.
not his personal assets. Okay. So you said about the science fiction, again taking back to
Yes, sir.
Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
There is a movie, anthropologically based science fiction, which talks about the evolution and takes back to the original, what you call the first, your human's grandmother in anthropology. What is the first skeleton which we call it as the first humanoid skeleton. Human like.
Australopithecus.
We have a name to that. Not before, even before Australopithecus. There is a skeleton we found in, I'll give you a clue, Ethiopia, Hadar Valley, and we named that particular skeleton as that is the great grandmother of all humans, nearest specimen.
Lucy.
Yes, Lucy. Have you watched Lucy?
No, sir.
Watch it.
Okay, sir. I'll watch it.
Since you talked about science fiction,
Yes, sir.
Lucy is a wonderful movie.
Yes.
It talks about all the knowledge, universal knowledge is there in your mind,
Yes.
but you can't take it. That is Lucy. Lucy. Heard about Lucy?
Yes.
Lucy, do you have any parallel or do you have such evidences in India, anthropological discoveries about the ancient most specimens of human are nearby?
Sir, Leakey found Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus in India, sir, near Shivaliks. And later we got Narmadensis man from Hathnora village near
Very
Madhya
good.
Pradesh.
Very good. Hathnora.
Hathnora.
Narmada man. Okay.
By Alan Sonaki.
So, since you talked about archaeological aspects of anthropology, what about the dinosaurs? Do we have dinosaurs in India? Did we have dinosaurs in India? Indian subcontinent or per se India?
Sir, I don't know the particular information, but I read a news regarding that, sir. There is a species which was located near Bhimbetka, which is known as which is dated to near dinosaur era. I am unable to recall that name, but it ends with Bali. Its scientific name is given with Rakas like that, sir. So I thought that by that knowledge I can say maybe some of
If I say
yes.
we found a dinosaur in Telangana, do you agree? Do you just because of your this fragmentary knowledge you are talking about? If I am saying that in Telangana we have a complete skeleton of dinosaur.
So we have it in Salajang Museum. If I not
Salajing Museum? No, Salajing did not collect any dinosaur specimens.
sorry, sir, I don't know it.
We have in Birla Museum. That is the dinosaur known as Kotasaurus hemionpalensis.
Yes.
Kotasaurus hemionpalensis is the dinosaur we procured from Telangana and Chirya district,
Okay.
Yamanpalli village, and we have complete lots of dinosaur and different species of the what do you call this age? Jurassic age.
Jurassic yes.
Jurassic age specimens
Yes.
we have. So this entire subcontinent, this Gondwana cutting plate up to this Kota formation in Adilabad, erstwhile Adilabad, and this entire area has these dinosaur formations. So that is very, very important aspect. We have Jurassic age in India.
So, thank you for the information.
So coming back to your own district, that is Polavaram is
Yes.
a project in your district. Do you think Polavaram is going to be a boon or a bane?
Sir, it has if you weight the both advantages and disadvantages, it is more of in boon nature, sir. Yes, sir. Because in lakhs of agriculture is going to be irrigated, and also with that Polvaram we can link the Godavari and Krishna river, so we can provide water to Rayalaseema region, and also we can solve the future water crisis of major cities in Andhra Pradesh. But there is also some disadvantage such as a displacement of tribals is there, sir. Many Koyas and Gondreddis are being displaced without giving any proper compensation under the act, sir. So I believe that pain is there, but we can overcome it, sir.
So this compensation and these things you talked about, what do you call them in administrative terminology?
Rehabilitation, sir.
Relocation and rehabilitation, R&R
Rehabilitation
policy.
and relocation policy. Yes, sir.
Do you think it is not happening in Polavaram? Because he has given a controversial statement that it is not happening.
So, many of the fixed schedule areas in that area passed village, that means Gram Sabhas, passed resolution against that project, sir. Sir, in earlier Supreme Court judgment, they have said consent of the Gram Sabha is necessary for going for the project. And moreover, social in part of a resettlement and rehabilitation policy, they have to conduct social impact assessment.
Yeah.
And many of the tribes are alleging that, saying that they haven't did it properly, and they didn't take the consent of those tribals also, sir. So these two things are the problematic in nature, sir.
How you are going to address it? It will go unaddressed. Once the project is done, no one will hear to their voice.
Yes, sir. So for that, first we have to analyze the problem, and then first we have to conduct comprehensive social impact assessment, and we have to explain the tribals regarding the advantages of the project and the compensation they are going to get, such as land for land and also monetary compensation and jobs also. So based on this, we should get the consent of tribals through creating awareness in them. So
Do you know that during the bifurcation
yes,
of erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, this is one of the aspect which was taken into consideration.
yes, sir.
And there is some aspect linked to this. Can you tell what exactly is that?
Sir, they have merged some of the villages in Telangana into Andhra Pradesh.
How many?
Sir, I'm not sure about that.
Villages or mandals?
Mandals, sir.
How many mandals? Of course, villages will be in mandals. I'm asking mandals because you need not give number of villages. How many mandals were merged with Andhra Pradesh, which were part of Telangana originally?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able.
7.5.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so 7.5 mandals were merged. This is part of your bifurcation act itself, and later it was transferred
Yes, sir.
to facilitate this polavaram.
Yes.
So again, coming back to your achievements, second prize in state level science exhibition and project competition.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is this? What did you do in this project?
Sir, this program is called INSPIRE, sir. Innovation in Science for Inspired Research. It is a central government scheme which is aimed to increase the scientific temper at a school level, sir. So in that they will provide 10,000 stipend for each school, sir. And any interested student need to develop a scientific idea, and he need to also develop a prototype of that idea, sir. So with that prototype, he need to participate in competitions at the district and state level.
What was the prototype you developed?
Sir, I developed a prototype of a machine which assists farmers in drying their paddy, sir.
Good. Is it in a preliminary stage or you finished that entire project?
Sir, I developed a prototype and I went to national level also, but I am unable to win that national level, sir. If I might win that national level, I can get to contributions from companies and also from central government, sir.
What was the problem? Still, it means it hasn't passed the final test. Or there are some lacunae in this project. What exactly did you find? Where is the scope for improvement of this project?
Sir, the judge asked me this question, sir. Since we are developing a paddy varieties such as without drying them on land, eventually, that is immediately after harvesting, we can sell to the farmers because they are going to be dried.
You can sell to the
Commissioning agents.
Yeah.
So they can be dried during the standing of the crop, sir. So I don't know that varieties, so I am unable to answer that question. So it costed me. But still, those varieties are there. But still, farmers depending upon the varieties such as Swarna, and 1010. So they are depending upon these varieties. So I believe that the relevance of that project is still there, sir. If I get a chance, I'll definitely take a look into it.
Is it a unique project which you have started, or are there any examples previously anyone attempted to do such things?
No, sir. It is the idea stem from my experience, sir. Because when my father used to, after harvesting, he brought all the paddy into plain areas, sir. And he has to because if moisture is there, commissioning agents decreases the price, sir. They will say it is not grade A paddy. So my father was used to dry to through his legs, sir. So it takes so much of amount of time, and the productivity is also very less. Even if the climate changes, it become very risky also due to lack of storage facilities. So I observed that. So I told the idea to my PS teacher, sir, physical science teacher. Since I don't have so much of knowledge and developing a prototype, he assisted me, so.
We are serious into the problems of the farmers.
So
What exactly ails the agriculture sector in this country? Name 1, 2, 3 with the order of preference. What exactly are the problems faced by the farmers? You just name them with the order of priority. If you want, you can take a few seconds to formulate your answer.
problems of farmers. Sir, first I believe that post harvesting infrastructure is the major thing, sir. Even after we are getting, because that is the time our hard work is going to pay off. But because of sudden change in climate, farmers' paddy is going to be suffered. So they are losing around 300, even sometimes 200 to 3 times per 75 kg bag. So they are going to lose very much, sir. So personally, I believe it is the first problem.
Means storage.
Storage, sir.
Storage and infrastructural problems.
Yes, and second, it is more about irrigation, sir. Because in some areas, those are not connected to irrigation facilities. Still, they depend upon the rainfall. But some areas are war flooded, such as my field, which is near to Yerrakalva, which connects to Godavari. It war floods in every Kharif season, sir. So eventually, we are losing one season completely. That is the second one, I think.
This is happening since how many years?
Even before I born, sir.
Even before your dad is also born.
Yes, sir.
The canal system.
Yes, sir. It is still happening. And third is the marketing, sir. Because of lack of literacy in farmers, even there are government schemes to protect them, they are not getting enough, sir. Because commissioning agents used to cartelize the price, sir. Before harvesting, they will say good price. But when farmers are harvesting, they will suddenly decrease the price. So farmers don't have choice unless to accept their terms. So that is the third problem, sir. And fourth is labor. Sir, I can't say, but this is the practical ground. After coming of MZ Narega, there is a huge scarcity in agriculture, sir. Because scarcity of labor happening, sir. So the labor costs are very high, and it is becoming the major cost of cultivation, sir. So these four major problems I observed, sir.
So first one is infrastructure. Second one is irrigation.
Yes, sir.
Third one is
Marketing. Fourth one is labor.
Labor costs.
Yes, sir.
So do you think this is the order? In the order of priority you have named.
Yes, sir.
So first one is infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we have common sheds? You see, today in villages, we see everyone is just putting their harvest in the open and just waiting for the agent to lift it or to procure it. Why can't we have some common sheds in the village itself? Is it a big problem? Forget about the government. Why don't we have such things together in the village? Why people are not doing? People build temples. Do they ask for money?
So they will pull their money. Yes, sir.
They'll build a temple with their own contribution.
Yes, sir.
But they are still blaming or they are still waiting for the government to rescue during these hard conditions.
Yes, sir.
Is it not a serious problem?
Sir, first of all, it requires some capital. Since in villages, many of the tenancy farmers are marginal or small farmers, majority of them. So individually they can't build. And as you said, they can build it in a cooperative way. But what I believe, what I observed, sir, even within the farmers, there is a division based on caste lines. In my village, I observed that. So they are not coming in a coordinated manner, sir.
Even the division is there, but still building the temples.
Sir, I believe that a religion sometimes transcends across caste lines, sir. But unfortunately, their economy is not unable to do that, sir.
It costs much less than a building a temple
Yes, sir.
to have the sheds,
Yes.
to save the harvest,
Yes.
but still they don't do.
So that's why I said lack of awareness and a lack of logic in their thinking.
As an administration,
Yes, sir.
are you trying to do this? If given a chance.
Yes, I will do this. First, I'll do it in a pilot project, sir. Because I cannot convince a district in once. So I'll do a pilot project, and based on that, I can use it as a reference. I did in that village, and they are benefiting. So I can make the village as a reference point, and I can persuade other farmers also, sir.
Forget about the administrator.
Yes.
Can you do this in your village in the next 2 years? Not as an administrator, as the citizen of this country and the resident of the village. Can you do it in your village?
Yes, sir, I can do it, but I have to do a lot of work. First, I have to convince my father myself only. And so first I have to convince my father also. And with the farmers who is familiar to my father and are also relatives to me, if I am able to convince them, I can make that possible. Yes, sir.
Do you have any examples of this granaries, such village level storage things in history, Indian history?
Sir, since from Harappa years we have that type of stories, sir. They have a good granaries, large granaries in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, sir. They used to store there, and even also in Kakatiya and our Krishnadevara time period, there is also a good granary storage facilities, sir.
Krishnadevaraya.
Yes.
Krishnadevaraya kingdom is known as? It was known as?
Vijayanagara kingdoms.
Are you sure? In those days, what did they call their own kingdom? For example, you call your state as Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
They call this country as India. Golconda people call it as Golconda, the Qutub Shahi dynasty,
Yes.
or the Golconda country, region, like that. What was the name given to Krishnadevaraya's country in those days? Was it Vijayanagara kingdom or what?
Sir, I am not able to.
That was known as Karnataka Rajya.
Karnataka.
Not Vijayanagara kingdom. Vijayanagara kingdom is the name given in the latter phase.
Okay, sir.
Do you know anyone who has written on Vijayanagara kingdom since you studied history?
Domingo phase.
That is true. They are travelers.
Yes, sir.
Is there any standard book or the recent means 20th century person, 20th century historian who wrote about Vijayanagara kingdom? This is the most famous book.
Sorry, sir, I don't.
The Forgotten Empire by Robert Sewell.
Robert Cyril.
Sewell. SEWELL.
After you saying, I recollected. I heard that book.
That is the book which brought back again the complete history of Vijayanagara like this. So you talked about Domingo Pace. Which country?
He is from Portuguese.
Portuguese. Can you tell something about Portuguese entry into India? Who helped them?
Sir, first Marco Polo came to India in Calicut region in 1498, and the rulers of that
Marco
Calicut.
Polo?
Not Sir Marco Polo.
Vasco da Gama.
Vasco da Gama, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir. Vasco da Gama entered India in 1498 near that Calicut regions. And Jamorians, who is ruling that area in that period, they traded with Vasco da Gama. So big, and he got nearly 70 times of his investment. So because of that, he again went back to his country, and he came up with a larger fleet for trading purpose. But because of their attract towards Indian land and also their superior technology, they wanted to settle there and also to convert the.
What do you mean by superior technology?
Sir, in that time they are due to the renaissance in Europe, they developed superior gun machinery and also naval ships, etc. And also they brought gunpowder. So all these three things.
So with this they came.
Yes.
What attracted Portuguese to stay in India, settle in India, or have their colonies here? What was the main attraction for them?
Spices.
Hmm.
They attracted towards the spices because it has huge demand in Europe.
Hmm.
And moreover, iron ores near Karnataka region also they attracted themselves.
Very good. Most of the aspirants don't talk about this. Only spices they talk about. What is the iron ore area in Karnataka?
Kudremukh.
Kudremukh. Kudre. Hmm. So coming back to who helped them to settle in India, Indian coast. You talked about Zamorin. Next to Zamorin, there is a famous man who helped Portuguese to settle in a big way, very big way.
Sorry, sir.
It was Krishnadevaraya.
Okay.
Krishnadevaraya helped them to settle. He gave him many forts in lieu of horses and help from the Portuguese military in his tirade against Bijapur Sultans. That is the thing. Okay. What do you mean by blue water policy? Have you heard about blue water policy?
Yes, sir. I think it is brought by a Portuguese commander or a French commander.
Portuguese or French?
Sir, I am not sure about that fact. But it is regarding who conquers the sea can conquer India.
That is Portuguese policy. There is no blue sea policy or blue water policy.
Yes.
They threatened the native rulers, Zamorins,
Yes.
and even bombarded the forts and finally had their sway in that region.
Yes.
Okay. You talked about Marco Polo.
Yes, sir.
Which country?
I think he is from Italy, sir.
Italy. But he did not come as an Italian, but he was a slave of Genghis Khan. Have you ever heard that he was a slave?
No, sir.
Marco Polo, a traveler, but he was a slave. Slave in the sense, don't even imagine that they are chained and all those things. He was a slave of Genghis Khan. He was given to Genghis Khan by his father. So he was working for Genghis Khan. So Marco Polo, Italy. Did he visit this land? This land. This land means South or Telugu states. Do you have any evidence of Marco Polo visiting this land? We are talking about Vasco da Gama as a colony. Who is coming first? Is it Vasco da Gama or Marco Polo?
Marco Polo, sir.
Which period?
It is during Kakatiya period.
Kakatiya period. Did he visit Kakatiya court?
I don't know, sir, but he wrote about Rudramadevi. But I am not sure whether he visited or not.
He visited.
Sir.
He visited. He is writing about the,
Yes.
as a person who is involved in paddy farming. Shall I tell you one interesting fact?
Yes, sir, of course.
He was writing about the rice which has great fragrance. It was grown in Kakatiya region. What do you mean by this rice with fragrance?
I think it is maybe of its quality.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Can you name that? What you call today basmati.
Yes, sir.
He was writing about those varieties
Okay.
cultivated in Kakatiya region. This Marco Polo. Okay.
Yes.
So, anyway, when we talked about this Portuguese and Krishnadevaraya,
Yes, sir.
what is the favorite subject in all the core subjects you have studied for your civil services? History, geography, economy, polity, which interests you more?
Of course, it is history, sir.
History.
Yes, sir.
You are from Nirdavul.
Sir, I am.
Born in Nirdavul. How far is from your native place? 15
just
kilometers.
20
kilometers.
Yes, sir.
So, for all practical purposes, it is the town.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you tell something about your Nirdavul history? Very interesting. If a Telugu man who studied history from Andhra area will ask you this question. Nirdavul.
Sir, it was a part of Eastern Chalukya's kingdom during 7th to 9th century, and also it's mentioned as Nirvarjapuram in Annaya's writings, sir. So these are the facts I know about my hometown.
There is another great aspect associated with this Nirdavulu or Nirvadyapuram related with Kakatiyas. Can you name that? Can you tell something about it?
I think a particular poet is from Nirdavulu, sir. He is very famous also.
I am talking about medieval history.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able.
Rudramadevi's husband is
Okay.
Nirvadyapuram. Not the Rudra.
His name, I was forgetting.
Pina Virabhadra. Is it Chinna Virabhadra or Veena Virabhadra? That is his name. Rudramadevi's husband is a native of Nirvadyapuram.
Okay, sir.
So Rudramadevi is the daughter-in-law of
Nirdavulu.
Nirdavulu.
Thank you for this great fact, sir.
Because Kakatiya Rudramadevi is Attagari.
Yes, sir.
And very interesting thing Rudramadevi did for all the women of Telugu land. She has a great what you call one special activity which you have to say. She is the first woman to start on record
Yes.
through inscriptions. A maternity hospital, separate maternity hospital was started by Rudramadevi.
Okay, sir.
Can you name that inscription? Again, it is part of your state syllabus.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to.
Mandaram
Mandaram.
inscription, or you have in this Amaravati region, that is the area.
Bhattiprolu.
Not Bhattipur. Bhattipur is Guntur. That is far away. Mandiram, Amaravati, Guntur Amaravati region. This Mandaram inscription talks about she constructing, she donating or she is commissioning maternity hospitals.
Mandiram.
Mandaram.
Mandaram.
Or Mandaram.
Okay, sir.
So, since you said history, which part of history is interested for you? Ancient, medieval, or modern?
Sir, I was interested in every part, but modern I like most, sir.
Who is the hero? Who is the most interested? Who inspired you in modern history? If I ask you to just name one person, who is the most inspiring personality in modern Indian history?
Sir, personally, I believe that Rani Gadolini from Northeast, who participated in civil disobedience movement, is a most inspiring person for me, sir.
Why?
Because she came to freedom struggle at very early age, sir. She was jailed for nearly 20 to 30 years. She got released only after India getting independence. Even that in jail also, she used to send communications and organized uh, rallies and all those things even from jail, sir. So even she went to jail at very early age, and despite the some of the even Britishers used to give some of the what you call, sir, if you come out of the freedom, we will leave you. But she never bowed down before British, sir. So after surrender, sir.
Or apology letters, or assurance letters.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
But she never bowed down. So yeah, that much of maturity at a very early age, and also her deterrence, that inspired me, sir.
So very interesting answer actually. You have taken an example from very very remote area as the inspiring. It's a good thing. At the same time, that is one inspiring. But do you think that her activity has inspired Indian subcontinent in modern Indian history? When we say inspiring, it's interesting. You definitely you what you call you feel that that is the greatest example of sacrifice or dedication. I don't disagree with you.
Yes, sir.
But a personality in modern Indian history who inspired the entire Indian national movement, you can need not be popular.
Yes.
As you have chosen Rani Gadillu.
Sir, I believe it is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, sir. If I need to say name, because organizing the freedom movement in a larger way and also attracting people started from Tilak, I believe, sir, based on my knowledge. So he paved the some of the way to how to organize and how to take power from people. That is how to make people realize their rights. So all those things, I think Bal Gangadhar Tilak is one of the inspiring modern Indians.
What were his forms of agitation?
So he used to conduct Ganesh festivals. So through that, he one of it is his personal way of using religion to accommodate people and to attract people and also to educate them on during those Ganesh festivals. So.
Is it taking all the people, the other sections of the society, Muslims, if you organize Ganesh festival and invite them into Indian national movement, can you expect the other sections, those non-Hindu sections, into the movement?
Yes, sir. It was the drawback, and also communal and communalism also started a little bit from that also, sir. Because Muslims feels that they were separated, and even during the Bengal movement also, when they used to take bath in Ganga and Hooghly, they feel Muslims feels that that movement is by for Hindus and also independence is for Hindus only. So that created some strikes.
So, do you agree that the problem of communalism, which we face even today,
Yes, sir.
has its roots in the first years of Indian national movement?
Yes, sir.
Who are responsible for it?
Sir, I believe there are many factors. Many people are responsible, even as general people and also leaders also responsible for that, sir. For example, um, I can say that, for example, when they campaigned for general elections under 1999, they used to incorporate religious things in their manifesto, sir. So that created strife, and also as we said earlier regarding Ganesh festivals and also taking dips in, and also formation of Muslim League and leaders taking their benefits, such as they are taking advantage of communalism, people's faith. So I believe that all these things under revivalism particularly. For example, when you say regarding the Indus Valley civilization, the archaeological evidences also coming, sir. So some of the Arya Samajists also say that go back to Vedas and
Can you repeat your answer? Just before Indus Valley Civilization, you said something.
taking dips.
Then you said Indus Valley.
Yes.
What is the relation between these two?
So these are two separate factors, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, when Indus Valley civilization is excavating by Britishers such as Mahatma Miller, and some of the Arya Samajists claimed that so this is our the civilization, and they imparted Hinduism to that Indus Valley civilization, sir. And
Do you have the evidence of any writings about it?
sir, as we didn't decipher the Indus Valley script, sir, so we don't have.
No. I'm talking about Arya Samaj is claiming that this is Indian civilization and this is Hindu civilization.
Sir,
Any writings who said that this is Hindu civilization, Indus Valley is Hindu civilization? Any Arya Samaj?
sir, it is a part. It became a part of propaganda by local ones, sir. Even Dayanandi Saraswati, they claim he claimed about back to Vedas, but also he didn't do that, sir. Even he didn't claim that IVC is a part of Hinduism.
Yeah.
But local leaders, to further self-benefit, they.
Who? Which local leader? Because I'm asking about the written evidence. Any book is written like that.
No, sir.
Then how can we say that Arya Samaj is claimed that this is?
Sir, I said some of the people, sir, because we have a propaganda, and we have read about in some newspapers and also some historical books, sir. So based on evidence, I am concluding that, sir.
Okay, we'll talk about it in the concluding remarks when I give you some feedback. Okay.
Yes.
Then just remember it and ask. Then you said about this strife is happening.
Yes, sir.
But there are people who are not having these things, either Hindu or Islam,
Yes,
Muslim. There are different people like Bhagat Singh.
Yes.
What was their association known as? What was the name of the association started by Bhagat Singh or his comrades?
Hindustan Social Republic Association, sir.
HSRA,
Yes, sir.
even army. Can you name some of the leaders of this movement?
Bhagat Singh, Ram Prasad Bismil, and also a famous one is there who wrote the book. At that time, it is a very famous book. I am not able to recollect his name, sir.
Which book?
Bhagavati Charan Mohra, sir.
Bhagavati Charan Mohra, very good. And some more?
His name starts with like Sachin Sanyal, sir.
Shachindranath Sanyal.
So these people who are the part of HSRS.
Ashfaqullah Khan.
Yes.
All these people. Have you heard about Yashpal?
Yes, sir. I have heard his name, but his contribution I'm not able to recollect, sir.
One book, and then the title is Singhavalokan.
Sir?
Singhavalokan.
Singhavalokan.
In Hindi, in Telugu, it translated Simhavalokanam, written by Yashpal. That is the complete documentation of these comrades. That is Bhagat Singh and his comrades.
Yes.
Simhavalokanam. That is one more important aspect.
Yes.
Do you have any history of such revolts in Andhra Pradesh against British?
So Rampa revolt is there,
Hmm.
and also Chirala Perala movement during 1919 years.
Chirala Perala movement is a Gandhian movement.
Yes, sir.
You can't compare with the movement as Bhagat Singh or HSRA movements. Is it not?
So I think it is Rampa rebellion. Able to recollect, sir.
Rampa rebellion, which year?
It is in 1920s, sir.
Who was the leader?
Alluri Sitaram Raju, sir.
Apart from Alluri Sitaram Raju, since he is a famous man, you can know his name. Apart from his, can you name other names?
Gantamadora is there, sir. Apart from Alluri Sitaram, I know
Gantamadora.
Yes, sir.
This is your area, nearby.
Yes, sir.
Mannam.
Mannam, sir.
What were the centers of this Rampa rebellion? Major centers?
It is the agency areas in Visakhapatnam
Hmm.
and those areas, sir, mainly.
Areas, can you name some?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recollect those names.
Addatigala, Nasipatnam, Rampachodavaram.
Yes, sir. Ramachoda.
Rampa name itself is
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
All these are. So Allur Sitaram Raju, what happened to him in the end? What exactly happened? How they what you call finished this movement?
Sir, I haven't read about the Allu Sitaram, but I watched his movie based on his biography. Based on that, Britishers formed a trap for him and they asked him to surrender. But he didn't agree to that and he was shot dead, sir.
Shot dead.
Yes.
Cold-blooded murder. First fake encounter. Claimed that he was encountered, but he was shot dead, point blank.
Yes.
That is. There is a great aspect attached with this Rampa rebellion in the context of tribal movements in India. Can you tell what exactly is the context? What exactly is the difference between Rampa and all the other tribal movements? Rampa means there are many series of Rampa rebellions. There were nearly 8 times Rampa region revolted against British. But with the context, with the specific Allur Sitaram Raju period rebellion I am talking about, why it is separate or special in the context of tribal movements, tribal revolts of India. This is part of your anthropology too.
Sir, I believe that they don't allow to use their forest resources. So that might be the reason.
That is everywhere. That is a common reason for all tribal revolts. I am saying that Allur Sitaramraju Red Rebellion is special
Sorry, sir,
in the context of tribal movements in India.
I don't know that special context.
Special context is this is the only instance where tribals are led by non-tribal. This is the only non-tribal.
Yes, sir.
But all the other tribal revolts, you take out all the lists of tribal revolts. Every tribal revolt is led by the people who are from that particular society, tribal society.
Yes, sir.
Is it not?
Yes, Birsa Munda, Jagannath.
Birsa Munda. What was his tribe?
Munda, sir. Munda Reddy.
What is the movement known as? The movement of Birsa Munda. There is a very popular name.
Yes, sir. Sir, I know that movement, but I am not able to recollect that particular name.
It starts with U.
Ulugulan.
Ulgulan.
Ulugulan.
Ulgulan. Ulgulan means great uprising, that's it.
Yes.
That is in the language. What was the language?
Munda, sir.
Ho.
Oh.
The tribe is Ho. That is Mundarian language, Ho language, their own language. Which state do you have this tribe or this movement is attached to? Which state of modern times?
Sir, I believe it is more attached to Madhya Pradesh.
No. Jharkhand. Just Jharkhand. It is in Jharkhand. Chaibasa is the region. Chaibasa was the center of Birsa Munda's revolt. Chaibasa.
Okay, sir.
Have you read anything about Birsa Munda in Telugu?
In Telugu, sir. No, sir.
Do you read novels? Do you read literature in Telugu?
Sir, most of contemporary,
Like
normal journals such as Ennamuri Virendra novels, like that. Sir.
Ennamuri novels.
Yes, sir.
Ennamuri, is he writing novels even today?
I don't know, sir, but I have read his old novels.
Old novels. Nowadays he is a skill trainer.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes, sir.
that is more lucrative than writing a novel.
Sir, because present youth doesn't have enough patience to read a 300-page novel. Instead, they have patience to watch 10 minutes video.
Why is it so?
Sir, it is a part of social change, sir, I believe. Because everything they are going for due to lack of time, not lack of time, because of the pressures associated with their living, they used to become
Forget about the entire youth. Tell me about your own case.
yes, sir.
No one, if not all the youths from Jagannathapuram are trying to become civil servant.
Yes, sir.
They are not inspired from Siddharth Jain.
Yes, sir.
But when coming to the reading habit of a book,
Yes, sir.
you are also, as the youth, they are not, everyone is not inspired with the Siddharth Jain, and you are not also inspired with the book reading also.
Yes,
Forget about this. Why you haven't read? Can you tell me?
sir.
Why you are not much interested in reading books?
Sir,
Apart from the novels, old novels, that is Ennamuri Veeran novels.
sir, it is not that I haven't interested in that, but because I have many other things which is of more academic and my financial importance. So when I used to give time for that, I don't have time for these things. But I will read those books, sir.
Better answer is really it's a missing aspect. So you should. It will enlighten you. Your financial condition or other hobbies or academic things,
Yes,
this is part of the entire enlightening yourself. Without reading, you can't achieve anything.
yes,
Even achieving your goal.
yes, sir.
Can you name any reader, any writer, popular writer in India, present day? English writer or any writer? Just I want some names. Popular writers. You can name columnists also. You can name best journalists also whose writings are popular today. Their translations into which appear in the Telugu newspapers also. You can name anyone. A popular writer.
Sir, I used to read Telugu columns in Inadu paper by Koladip Panayar, sir. He is a former High Commissioner. So I used to read his articles, sir.
He is no more now.
Yes, sir. He is
So his column stopped
yes,
long back.
Yes.
Kuldeep Nayyar.
Yes, sir.
You say that he is farmer?
High Commissioner.
It's really a smallest, tiniest part of his life. Kuldeep Nayyar was a famous journalist.
Yes.
Originally was a journalist.
But when I used to.
That is a problem with the newspapers.
Yes, sir.
They have written him as farmer. He is a great journalist, Kuldeep Nayyar.
Yes.
Have you heard about emergency?
Yes, sir.
Emergency. Since you named Kuldeep Nayyar, again allied questions will come.
Yes.
Have you heard about emergency? Yes.
Yes.
On emergency, he has written a book, Kuldeep Nayyar. His book is very famous regarding that. He described the entire emergency. So, the verdict is the title.
Yes.
The judgment or verdict in English exactly, I don't know some of these things.
Yes.
In Telugu, it is Tirpu. That unveils the entire emergency period written by Kuldeep Nayyar.
Okay.
Okay. Which paper, English paper do you read?
The Hindu, sir.
Can you name some columnists or something which you read regularly and which help in your preparation?
Sir, the articles written by Rangarajan sir, who is a former RBI governor, used to write in a very lucid way, sir, when he used to explain economic concepts. Because I started preparation and my school education was done in Telugu medium, so first it was very difficult to me to read Hindu newspaper. But because of his columns, I able to understand the concepts clearly, sir. So, and moreover, there is a writer, I am not able to recollect his name. He is from Law University in Hyderabad, sir. He is a chairman or a vice chancellor. He also used to write articles and more often in Hindu, sir.
Telugu man or?
He is a.
You are talking about Faizal Mustafa?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Faizal Mustafa. Yes. Faizal Mustafa has recently has written an article last week in Hindu. Can you tell what topic exactly he has written? Just 5 days back or 7 days back.
No, sir, I am unable to recollect it.
He's talking about India should become Vishwaguru by dealing the Ukrainian crisis or all those things.
Yes.
This is the latest article. Since you have talked about Faizal Mustafa,
yes,
this is the latest one.
Yes, sir.
So till you appear for your interview, you should go through Hindu every.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Okay.
That is Faizal Mustafa.
Thank you, sir.
So, what exactly are the problems for a student who is coming from rural area? This language barrier. how you faced and how you overcame that, and what are your suggestions? What do you think? How to overcome such things?
Sir, first overcoming such thing is determination, and we have to courage to overcome that fear, sir. Because when you fear to speak in a language that you are not familiar with, that you certainly have so much of fear. So first we have to leave that fear. So first we can do that by speaking with our close friends who can speak well in English, and also we can read some of the English newspapers. So we'll come through some important terms. So using that important terms, we can build our sentences. So and also by practicing, mm, by practicing English, that is speaking thoroughly, even we are getting some of the mistakes, we should not stop. So these three things they have to do, sir.
What about the institutional help? Where do you get the institutional help? Did you get my point? This is, you are talking about individual right.
Yes, sir.
So how to get the institutional help in this process?
Sir, in my preparation, it is a UPSC indirectly given my that given that encouragement. But recently, AP government came with the idea of English medium, complete English medium schools. So that is the type of institutional help to people, sir.
Is it not against the new education policy now? What new education policy speaks of the medium of instruction
They
in
should
primary?
they should be allowed to taught in their mother tongues up to the class sixth standard, sir.
Is it not in contradiction with the AP government's policy today?
Sir, because of that policy, they have changed. They have modified their decisions.
Hmm.
Now, what they are doing is they are printing the textbook in one page. They are printing in Telugu, and another page they are printing in English. So, with that little modification, they are at the same time implementing their policy, and also,
Still, what do you call? Do you call it as English medium or Telugu medium?
sir, they are allowing Telugu medium also, sir.
Hmm.
For English medium, it will be in complete in English. For Telugu medium, they are printing at one part in Telugu and one part in English. But they have to write in Telugu only, sir. But when they go for higher studies, since they have familiar with those scientific names in their school studies, they can cope up with easily, sir. I believe that.
What is your name of your district now after the recent development?
West Godavari, sir.
You are in West Godavari.
Yes, sir.
only. What are the other areas carved out of your West Godavari district?
Yeluru, sir.
Hmm.
Yeluru and the surrounded region, Chintalpudi, that region they are called as Yeluru Jilla. And West Godavari, Tadapilligudum, Bemavaram. So these are called Palakollu, Narsapuram.
Jailur is famous for?
Sir, it was the capital of Vengi Chalukyas earlier, Pedavegi near Veluru. That is the historical importance of Veluru.
Which period?
Sir,
Can you tell me the period? Which AD?
sorry, sir, I don't know that particular period.
624. They are carved out of Badami Chalukyas. This is Vengi Chalukya. Who was the founder?
I think it is Kubja Vishnuvardhan.
Yes, Vishnuvardhana. You talked about Vengi Eastern Chalukyas just before.
Yes, sir.
So that is Vengi Chalukya and Eastern Chalukya.
Yes.
Good. Continue. You talked about the popular things. One is Vengi Chalukya.
Yes.
Any industry or cottage industry or any of that thing which is Yelur is popular for.
Sir, now Yeluru is become a hub of medical tourism, sir. Because of Asrama Hospital, it is become a medical hub. It is used to serve very large number of people and in subsidized rates. So it is the present relevance of
What is the name of the hospital you said?
Ashram Hospital.
Ashram.
Yes, sir.
It's a voluntary organization.
Sir, it is not voluntary, but it is a medical college associated hospitals.
Government run or private?
It a private runs.
That is what I say. I mean to say.
Yes.
Ah, but this is one thing. Carpet weaving. Have you heard about?
Yes.
Elur carpets are the most famous. Elur is a carpet weaving center since medieval times. Very popular carpet weaving center. Okay. So
Thank you,
Eluru and this region is carpet weaving centers.
sir.
So coming back to some things which are in your anthropology,
Yes.
if you are part of the most backward regions in Andamans,
Okay, sir.
what is the first thing you want to do
In Andamans.
in our Andamans?
Sir, first I have to develop the basic communities.
Hmm.
So, since even if you say in Andamans, many tribes such as Shompen and Manis, they are suffering with high anemia of around 60%. And also they don't have access to good drinking water. So first we have to provide the basic communities, and later we should encourage them to educate, not in a formal way, regarding local knowledge, and also being writing a script for their language, developing script for their language. So I'll do these changes, but in a more acceptable manner, sir, which is acceptable to those tribes. And also I will diversify their economy, because present they are more depends upon hunting. So because of that, if hunting is not possible due to any climate or related to those things, they are starvation deaths. So by introducing a little bit of agriculture or any some nomadic some settlement, we can help them, sir.
Is it just hunting or any other mode of subsistence is there?
Fishing is also there, sir. Hunting and
That is
gathering.
also part of it. Hunting and food gathering.
Yes.
We never leave hunting in isolation
Yes.
because humans cannot live just on hunting.
Yes, sir. That's true.
Food gathering.
Yes, sir.
We are not lions or the carnivorous animals just to live on hunting the prey. Hunting and food gathering are the two things which are very important we have to talk about.
Yes.
Okay. Without that, you cannot say this is the first mode of subsistence.
Okay, sir.
Then, if it is Chenchus, if you are part of this land, what are your suggestions?
Sir, up to my knowledge, changes more depends upon basket making.
Hmm.
Basket making, sir. And also little bit in agriculture also nowadays. So first I have to create a market for them, because of lack of marketing opportunity, they are selling for outsiders for very cheap rates. So first I will create a little bit marketing for them.
Do we have the market for the baskets even today?
Sir,
Do we have the market for the baskets?
sir,
Bamboo and baskets you are talking about.
sir, in terms of practical utility, it is very less, but we can make it as art, sir.
That is not going to help in a big way further. That
Sir,
is an allied activity only.
sir, otherwise we can develop their ongoing.
Shall I tell you one thing? What will happen?
Yes, sir.
If you create this basket weaving activity as an activity,
Yes,
Chenchus are doing it because they have the raw material.
yes,
There is another community, bamboo weaving community is there. Traditional community, bamboo weaving in plains. If you have the market, these people will capture. Chenchus market will not be there.
yes,
Already the market is shrunk.
yes, sir. Sir, in that also, even you say the allied activity, you can develop a different model, sir.
Hmm.
Because nowadays, if you see in Amazon also, there are tribal products which has very huge demand. So we can make it as a more artistic way. So in artistic way, even investment is less and capital is also more. And more since they are they are in transition towards agriculture. So we can introduce some of the agriculture practices which can increase their productivity.
This is the important one.
Yes.
So first you have to talk about this.
Okay, sir.
Then you can talk about the allied activities.
Yes.
Once you talk about the allied activities in the beginning itself,
Yes.
such questions will come that it is not going to work.
Okay, sir.
Though Amazon is popularizing all these things, again it's a completely a different game.
Yes.
So because forget you are trying to link Chinchus to Amazon, but before that first you link them into the more productive activity in their own areas.
Yes, sir.
That
That's
is
true.
the first thing.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to set the priorities, which is important, which is secondary.
Yes.
Okay. Lastly,
Yes.
what exactly is the reason for the problems now there are Sri Lanka is facing today?
Sir, first one is hyperinflation. Sir. The prices of the goods are very going in a high way, and also they are facing also their government is also facing a debt trap, sir. Their debt percent to GDP is very high, and their forex reserves also depleting, which is around now 1.5 billion dollars soon. So these are the crises present in Sri Lanka, sir. The reason for that is they more depends upon tourism, sir. Their economy is not well diverse like us. So because after COVID-19 and also Easter attacks, their tourism was impacted and they are losing employment and also revenue, sir. And secondly, their sudden transformation into organic agriculture. And moreover, due to some of the policy setbacks, such as more depends upon imports and also more depends upon foreign debts. So these three things, I think.
Which country is responsible for the debt trap?
So I don't say it is a particular country is responsible for they are, but they are more depending upon China and Asian development banks. Even they own 16% of their whole debts. Those two together.
So, do you see any respite in the coming days? Can they come out of this crisis successfully?
Sir, first they have to.
As imagine, you are into Indian Foreign Service.
Yes, sir.
You are posted in Sri Lanka. You will be sending the reports. We call it as dispatches to your Ministry of External Affairs.
Yes, sir.
In those dispatches, what will be your visualization? How we can come out of the situation, present grey situation?
Sir, my recommendations. Sir, first they have to make some structural changes in their economy, sir. They have to diversify their economy. They shouldn't depend upon one sector of the economy. And secondly, they have to analyze the mistakes in sudden transformation into organic agriculture. And thirdly, they should decrease their import dependence, and they should industrialize their economy. That is, they should diversify their economy. And for immediate relief, they have to uh, approach the international lending issues such as IMF for a bailout. And for that, they have to come for first. They have to come with a solution for those structural changes in economies.
Even IMF is also a debt trap.
Sir, there are instances that IMF loans become debt trap, and there are some instances IMF loans become a boon. For example, in India case, in 1991 crisis, IMF bailed out India, and we used that opportunity to bring some of the structural changes in economy. So Sri Lanka is also not an exception. It depends upon what are the terms and conditions they are going for IMF bailout, whether they are going to based on only Washington consensus, or they are going to or they are going to IMF based on suitable indigenous structural economic changes. So it depends.
Do you think Sri Lanka has a choice to choose when you discuss with IMF?
Sir, it is since it is a sovereign country, it has choice, but their pressure is also surmounting on it. So to relieve that pressure, they are asking their neighboring countries such as India for swapping, money swapping, and also for credit lines, yeah, and restructuring of loans. So they have choice, but some problems are also associated.
Last small question.
Yes.
Do you have any monument, historic monument from your state, being what you call recommended to be part of the UNESCO heritage list? On tentative list. Tentative list is the first phase. Do you have any this year? This happened just a few days back, not even months.
From
Days.
Andhra Pradesh, sir.
From Andhra Pradesh. It entered into the tentative list of UNESCO heritage sites. Once they enter into tentative, it's a long process. It's a 10-year process, whatever it is.
Sir, I am not clear about that.
This year, you have in your prelims, a question came on UNESCO heritage site. Not a direct question. Dolavira.
Dolavira.
What exactly is Dolavira's importance in Indian history? Indus Valley?
Sir, it is since it is the most of the Indus Valley civilization cities are built on two sections, sir. That is upper city and lower city. Citadel part and common.
But not. It was not the question. In your prelims, the exact point was water harvesting.
Yes, sir. Water harvesting.
That was a major aspect of it.
Yes.
Okay. So now in prelims, you have got this Dolavira. Now I am asking in the mock interview about the heritage site from your state. Recently, they have accepted to take it into tentative list.
Sir, since I am not aware of it, I shouldn't speculate. But if you
If
have
at
any,
all, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
it can be Amaravati Stupa, I believe.
No, that is Lepakshi.
Okay, sir.
Lepakshi is on tentative list now.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. It is famous for Vijayanagara murals.
Who built it?
Sorry, sir.
Read.
Okay, sir.
Prepare on Lepakshi. It is not built by the king. It is a feudatory who built it. I am not telling his name because you have to read it now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, he is a feudatory, local feudatory. He built this Lepakshi temple.
Okay, sir.
Right, Bala Mahesh. With this, I conclude my questioning session. So, let's talk about my suggestions for you. First thing is, you are confident enough, but prioritizing the answer is important.
Yes.
When you explain something, for everything, there is one primary, then secondary. Your answer will be in a perfect format or appealing when you first talk about the primary thing in any context. That is why you just review. In many questions I was asking you, is it the first one or is it the second one?
Yes, sir. I accept that.
Like making your hobby, agriculture as a hobby. If you say agriculture is a hobby for a farmer's son, then what will happen to Mahesh Babu? Okay. Mahesh Babu can say that agriculture is my hobby. I'm just doing agriculture part time. Prakash Raj can say. But a farmer's son cannot say that this is my hobby. This is my understanding. You may differ with me.
Okay.
Because the choice is there, but still you will do it as part of your occupational thing than the hobby.
Yes.
Do you get my point? So I don't think agriculture is a hobby. You have written paddy cultivation, but be strong in that point. You support saying that I spend my time in this as the extra thing. Since I am not a farmer, but my family is a farmer's family. That can be, but it can't be a hobby.
Yes.
So you are learning things in this. Then you link this with your science innovation project.
Okay, sir.
You did not do it as a hobby. You did it to find a solution for the problems of the farmers in your area, like your farmer.
Yes.
Is it clear? Then this makes more strong answer than it becoming a hobby. Because whenever you want, whenever leisure time is there, you will go, and I have a choice. I may not go, I need not go, but still I go. This is not going to help you in your answer. That is a major thing. Because you have mentioned here in extracurricular activity, I am talking about it. Okay, cricket, we don't have any problem with it. You may not give answers, you may give answers, that is not going to affect your whole personality. But this is the most important aspect in your answer. Okay? Because your entire career, your understanding, your development, your shortcomings, your weaknesses, and your strengths, all are depending on this background. You just review your answers. Everything is around it, including your choice of your optional.
Yes.
When you are doing it, then it should be something else. Okay? This is one. Second thing is, for factual information, it's good you have some factual information too in your kitty. Whenever I asked, sometimes you could not recollect, but still, when I gave a clue, you could recollect it. Like Ulgula.
Yes.
Okay. So, not a problem with the nitty gritty or the specific aspects, but you have to build the argument in much stronger way.
Yes.
That is a practice. There is no absoluteness also, of course, in this. I feel that your answers are good, not best, not bad. Now you have to improve this side. Then your answers will be more appealing. This is one thing. Second thing I observed is many things I read smaller mistakes, not a big mistake, not a some grammatical mistakes are there in your presentation. It's but natural. I am not saying that it's a big problem, because we are understanding from this side of the table that your background is responsible for that mistake, no doubt. But if you can rectify,
It would be yes. Yes. It.
that's it. I read. You are right. You are using such words with not a correct word.
Yes.
You can say read. Then I read the books. So impression wise, it may not be a big problem because I can understand you whatever you are speaking.
Yes.
But still, you have to rectify those things.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then you be strong on the point that though not having a big background like IIT or some great institutions or a regular competitive atmosphere, you are up to this. So stand on this strength.
Yes.
Be polite, but build your argument in this way. Okay?
Yes.
That is why most of the questions I asked. As a person, how are you going to tackle in your village? There again, you are very pragmatic and not into these things. Caste is the basic factor you are talking about. Those things are really harming the interest, no doubt about it. But don't tell them. Don't tell them that because of this is not happening. What should be the ideal thing we have to talk about? Yes, we have to change it. In the villages, we have to build a common infrastructure where this paddy will not be soaked when it rains suddenly, all of a suddenly. We have to work for it. We have to promote, we have to campaign, we have to create awareness. As an administration, definitely I will have this. Railways, we are going into private-public partnership in the village, why can't we do it?
Yes.
Even the same thing with Jagari question.
Yes.
Cooperatives, you say that we will open it through cooperatives. Then definitely this one will solve. And as that, in addition, you can go for Jagari or molasses. Molasses is not going to solve the problem. That is not the first one.
Yes, sir.
So you have brought molasses into the first answer, first priority, then that answer will not be right.
Yes.
Okay? This prioritizing your the what you call 1, 2, 3, 4 points is very important. You have to restructure your answer.
Yes.
These are my observations. Sometimes, whenever there is something, I immediately contradicted. There you understood. You might have understood where you have to improve upon.
Yes.
Okay?
సార్ మీరు ఇంకోటి చెప్పారంటే ఆర్య సమాజ్ పాయింట్ చెప్పినప్పుడు ఒకసారి గుర్తు చేయమన్నారు.
ఆర్య సమాజ్ చేసి అట్లా రాయలేదు ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ అది. ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ సివిలైజేషన్కు Bala Tilak's theory only is there. And this man is also there. Arya Samaj theory is also there. that is thousands of years అనేది that is ఎవరు మన దయానంద సరస్వతి. ఒరిజినల్ ఇన్హాబిటెంట్స్ అనేవాళ్ళు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చినారు అనే దాని మీద థియరీస్ ఉన్నాయి. బాలగంగాధర్ తిలక్ టేక్స్ బ్యాక్స్ టు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చారు? ఆర్టిక్ రీజన్ నుంచి వచ్చారని చెప్పాడు. సో ఇండియాకు సపోర్ట్ చేసే ఆర్గ్యుమెంటే కాదు అది. ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ నేటివ్ అని చెప్పే ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ కాదు కదా. ఓకే, వేగ్గా మనకు అనిపించింది మీకు, ఇమీడియట్గా చెప్పేసిండ్రు, కానీ అది సపోర్టింగ్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంటే కాదు. అండ్ ఆర్టిక్ థియరీ, ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ పీపుల్ ఆర్టిక్ నుంచి వస్తే హిందూ సివిలైజేషన్ ఎక్కడ సపోర్ట్ అవుతుంది? అది అట్లా వీక్ పాయింట్. Are you comfortable with the entire system? This questioning and everything? Did you learn anything?
Yes, sir. It is very comfortable, and also the analysis is more. Even it took time. It is become very important, sir. It is very important. You said some of the drawbacks such as my grammatical mistakes and also prioritization of answer. This prioritization of answer I was noted earlier, sir. But no one told me that. I believed that it is my consciousness that I am doing wrong prioritization. But after you told me, sir, even I am realizing that yes, it is the problem and I need to correct it.
In spite of all this, I appreciate your honesty, appreciate your strength.
Yes.
Strength is the first one, honesty second one. Your strength being from the rural background, being from the humble background,
Yes.
and your aspiration and your determination to reach the goal is important. And I congratulate you for successfully completing the step, and I wish you all the best in this.
Thank
And
you.
be confident, need not worry.
Yes.
Be confident, be cool, be honest in your answers. Whatever you have learnt in this mock practices, you can go through it.
Yes.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.